Hello, everybody. While presenting the benefit or advantage of using geothermal energy for generating fresh water from sea through desalination process for food and water security, especially for GCC and sub-Sahara countries. Number of water-stressed countries are growing in the world due to changes in the global weather patterns, reduction in rains or monsoon patterns. Food security is a great concern for all the Gulf Cooperation Council countries. They include Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, and other oil producing countries, and also the sub Saharan countries like Ethiopia, Egypt, Djibouti, Eritrea, and Yemen. The present volume of food imports by these countries stands at 70 million tons. You can see the graph there, and it is increasing. It's going to increase considering the availability of water for irrigation in these countries. Virtual water trade is not a solution for food, energy, water security to these countries. Greater than 85% of landmass in these countries is desert, and due to poor rainfall, high evaporation, the freshwater supply to these countries is poor. In total, more than 884 million people have no access to water. If this situation continues, then the economy of these countries will collapse due to heavy dependence on imported food. Countries like Saudi Arabia are enjoying water stored in ancient aquifers that are associated with oil-rich formations, which belong to Mesozoic, Cenozoic, and Eocene and Cretaceous periods. But these aquifers, like the Sakram aquifer, sandstone aquifer of Mesozoic era, and Ume Rathuma limestone aquifer of Eocene era, or transboundary aquifers shared by almost all the countries in the Gulf region. For example, I've given the slide on the left side. You can see uh, the Sakram sandstone aquifer is shared by Saudi Arabia and Qatar, as you can see in this figure, and is also shared by Kuwait and Jordan. Similarly, the Ume Radhuma limestone aquifer is shared by Saudi Arabia and Yemen. You can given the stratigraphy of these formations. On the right side is the stratigraphy of aquifers in the Yemen Republic. On the left side is the stratigraphy of formations in Saudi Arabia. The per capita water supply has decreased from 3,500 cubic meters to 500 cubic meters at present, and it is expected to fall below 500 by 2025. How is this affecting the food situation in these countries? For example, Saudi Arabia is not able to supply 88 kilograms per year of per capita wheat production to its 28 million population. In fact, in the year 2016, this is the year when I was in Riyadh, there is a rule passed that wheat cultivation should be stopped with immediate effect. The future water demand for agriculture will touch 20,000 million cubic meters by the year 2025 for Saudi Arabia. Now, if you ask how these countries are managing the situation, well, Saudi Arabia has gone into desalination process, generating fresh water. It has nearly 128 desalination plants. Many of these plants run on MSF technology by using fossil fuel as the energy source. Similarly, Egypt, Yemen, Djibouti, and Eritrea too have adopted this method to meet freshwater demand. In certain cases, for example, like Saudi Arabia, they have leased out certain agricultural land in other countries. They are cultivating rice and wheat and other cereals and importing them into their country. So, by the process of desalination, nearly 12 trillion watt hours of electricity is utilized to generate about 1 meter cubic of fresh water. The amount of energy is quite large. And during this process, because you are using fossil fuel as the source of energy, 13 million tons of CO2 is emitted into the atmosphere. So this is not generating fresh water from desalination is not economically unsustainable. It's not economically unsustainable. The desalinated water, which is being sold at 3 cents per meter cube with the government subsidy, while the actual cost is 60 cents per meter cube. How long you can hold the subsidy is a question to be answered. This utilizing fossil fuel for desalination process is not economical cost-wise and is not environmentally friendly as this process generates large quantities of CO2 as I have given an example in my previous slide. So both issues can be solved, that is curtailing CO2 emissions, the same time generating fresh water and providing food security by utilizing geothermal energy resource. In the figure, I've given you the levelized cost of electricity per megawatt hour for those plants commissioned in 2016. You can see geothermal is competitive, while coal may be cheaper than geothermal, but the consequences are very large, like it emits large amount of CO2, then you have to spend a lot of money for cleaning the environment. So, what is the cost of desalination and the CO2 emissions by using the different sources? You can see in this table, I given a comparison of fossil fuels, solar photovoltaic, and geothermal. No doubt, geothermal is the has the lowest cost of generation of fresh water, and the CO2 emissions are far less compared to other sources. Now, the unit cost of desalination water was around 0.5 cents per meter cube. This was when the cost of fossil fuel was about $10 per ton. Now, this has increased considerably, and the energy required for generating 1,000 meter cube of fresh water per day from the sea is about 11 million megawatt hour. So the energy is quite large. Naturally, if you are spending sourcing the process through fossil fuels, the amount of CO2 emitted is also quite large. So CO2 emitted, for example, by generating 1 megawatt of electricity from fossil fuels, about 817 kgs. Now, what is the solution? The solution is GCCs and sub-Saharan countries discussed here have they have a large amount of geothermal resources which are untapped, and these countries should exploit this energy resource to sustain long-term food and water supply, thereby maintaining food security for all these countries. So you may ask me what are the geothermal resources available in these countries? Well, you can find these uh, resources available in all the countries in the country updates, which you can we have with you in the preceding volumes. So that gives you the amount of energy that is available, amount of energy that can be spent for generating fresh water for food security and energy security by all these countries. Thank you so much for your attention. If you have any questions, I can answer. The full paper is available in the proceedings. If you have any doubts, you can always, or you can send me your questions through email or through some other source. Thank you very much.